Guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be all about my 10-week appointment. I am now 10 weeks pregnant. This is my third pregnancy and I had my 10-week appointment yesterday. My son is on spring break for preschool. My husband took leave from the military and obviously we have our 1-year-old with us, so the whole family went to the appointment yesterday and I was like, what could go wrong? We have 2 toddlers, everything's fine. Honestly, overall, it went pretty well. So we got to the appointment and we didn't have to wait too long, which is always great, but we always come prepared with snacks and drinks and books and all the things. So when I first went back there, they took my weight, and honestly, I was expecting to have gained more weight since my last appointment because I have had so many cravings. I feel like I've been eating so much, but I'm still so active with both of my toddlers. So I am gonna go over like cravings, symptoms, names, all the things I've been going over in my previous week's videos. But I'm also going to go really in depth about the 10-week appointment because I, for some reason, totally forgot how time-consuming and how in-depth this appointment was. I completely blanked, and she was like, you know, after this we're going to send you to the lab to get some blood work. And in my head, I'm so excited because I'm like, yes, the gender test, like the NIPT test, this is what I was so excited about. And I was like, oh, what am I getting blood work done for? And she's like, a lot of things. And then it clicked, and I was like, oh, this is the appointment where you get like 7-8 tubes of blood drawn. Like, I completely forgot. If you guys have watched my last few videos, I'm pretty sure I talked about the fact that my blood draws never go very well. There is one technician there who does an amazing job, but I know it's partially my responsibility to be like super hydrated. I realized in that moment, I'm like, I've had a coffee this morning and I don't think I've had any water. So that was totally on me. And I was like, do you guys have any water? Like, can I have a water bottle? Usually they only take like 1 tube of blood and that's hard for them to get. So when I realized that she said the full OB panel, I remembered that it was like 7-8 tubes of blood and I was like, I need water now. So they brought me some water. I was super grateful and I started drinking it immediately. And then I don't really know a better word for this. I don't know the technical terms for these tests, but they did use like a probe, I guess, to do a like vaginal test for specific STDs, and then that's just standard for everybody across the board. Pretty much like all we did with the nurse, and then she sent us down to the lab. So I have nothing but great things to say about our hospital. I gave birth to Emma there about 1.5 years ago, almost 2 years ago. And they did give me like this bag with a whole bunch of information about like breastfeeding and WIC, and there was a water bottle, and there's just all kinds of things in this bag. So that's just a ton of information for like birth plans and future appointments and like a whole bunch of information. So okay, so now we get down to the lab. And, you know, the kids are pretty much over it, especially Jackson, my 3-year-old. We've been through the snacks, we've been through the books, we've been through the waiting rooms. My husband has taken him to the bathroom, walked outside with him, like, my son's pretty much over it. So we wait in the lab waiting room as long as we can. And then I was like, it's almost lunchtime for them. Like, they're only gonna get crankier and hangrier from here on out. So my husband and I decided he should probably go take Jackson to pick up lunch and they could, like, eat it in the waiting room. So I checked with the front desk. I'm like, can they come in here with like Burger King? Can the kids have lunch? Because the lab waiting room was packed. And then all of a sudden, an ambulance pulls up, a stretcher comes in, and so there was an emergency. Like, there was another pregnant woman there who, I don't know if she fainted, that's what it seemed like. So she came out on a stretcher, leaving the room where they draw the blood. And I was like, ah, like I'm freaking out. So the waiting room got a little bit backed up because there was an emergency. So the boys went and got food, and as soon as they finally got back, they finally called me back. So I walked back there with Emma. Mind you, at this point, I've drank 3 or 4 of the small bottles of water, and they told me I had to take a urine test, so I was like trying to hold it this whole time. And so as soon as we got back there, the lady was there who's really good at drawing my blood, so I was very grateful. I was like, they said I have to take a urine test, can I please do that first? Like, I'm about to die. I took Emma in there with me, I did the urine test, and so at that point I realized Emma needed a diaper change, so I was like, I'm really sorry, I'm gonna have to take my daughter out to the waiting room to my husband. I took Emma out there. I was like, great, like they can eat lunch. I'll be done in a few minutes. Let's do this. So when I go out there, Jackson's like worried about me and he wants to come back with me. So I dropped one off and I came back with another. They probably think we're insane. Maybe we are. I don't know. That's just how it is with two toddlers. I'm like holding Jackson's hand when I come back for my blood draw. And I was like, sorry, like I dropped my daughter off. I'm back with my son. Let's just get this over with. So Jackson was so cute. He held my hand while I was getting my blood drawn. So as she's drawing my blood, she starts to like wiggle the needle around a little bit. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, no. That's not a good sign. So I'm like, is it going okay? And she's like, it's just starting to slow down a little bit. Mind you, at this point, there are several tubes sitting on the tray in front of me. So I'm like, this is not good. Like, we have a ways to go. I think there's like 3 or 4 more tubes she needs. So she's like, I'm really sorry it clotted. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. And so she's like, do you care if I use the same arm and just like go up to a different vein? I'm like, I don't care what you need to do, I just want to get it done. And I'm like trying to be so straight-faced and so happy for Jackson, and he's like, does that hurt? I'm like, no, it's fine. He's like, are you gonna cry? I'm like, no, it's fine. So she moves up to another vein on the same arm. I'm like, is that one going okay? And she's like, yeah, it's just slow. I'm like, okay. I see her put like 7 or 8 tubes of blood on the tray, and I'm like, okay, I'm like, so are we almost done? She's like, almost. And then there's like 9 tubes, 10 tubes, 11 tubes, 12 tubes. And I'm like, this lady took 12 tubes of blood for my appointment. I don't know why. I mean, I saw all the labs like pop up in my chart yesterday. It's literally a full blood panel. Like they do your iron, your red blood count. Like there's so many things. I did convince them to let me do the gender test because my nurse was like, you know, we really like to try to wait till 12 weeks. And I was like, I know with both my kids, we had it done between 8 and 10 weeks. And I really want to know. I had no idea, but I guess the gender test, like your BMI plays a role. So she said because my BMI is on the lower end, that it probably would be accurate and there probably would be enough cells that they needed to identify the gender. So she's like, if it doesn't work, like you can just come back in a couple weeks and we'll do it again. So I am just dying to find out if it's a boy or a girl. So they did say in about 7 to 10 days we should know the gender, and I'm so excited. I'm ready to start like planning things, really looking at names, decorating the baby's room. Like then I feel like I can truly get like fully involved and excited, because right now I'm like, we know we're having a baby, but there's not a ton I can do with that information right now. I don't know what color to paint the walls. I don't know what kind of outfits to buy or names to look at. So yeah, I'm just really excited to find out the gender. I am still on the progesterone suppositories. I'm going to be so relieved to be done with that in about 2 more weeks. I have pretty much always been anemic, especially in both my pregnancies. So this time around, I was actually really surprised to see my iron levels at 33. I know that's still on the lower end, but usually I'm like way below the minimum. I feel like this pregnancy, I've had the strongest cravings. Like I had cravings with my other 2, but not like this, where I was like, I have to have this and I have to have it now. Like, can't stop thinking about it. I literally had a dream about cookies and cream ice cream, like the specific brand and everything. So that was crazy. There were 2 nights last week where the kids were in bed and it's like 9 o'clock at night, 9:30, and I asked Bradley to go get me Taco Bell. I've never had a Doritos Locos taco in my life. I've seen people eat them, I've seen them, I know what they are, and for some reason I had to have them 2 days in a row. Taco Bell has been a big craving. Terrible cereal, just sugary, junky cereal. Captain Crunch berries, Fruity Pebbles, all the cereal. I want so much cereal. Beef jerky, I have been eating bags of beef jerky. So I don't know if it's like the protein or like the saltiness. Love beef jerky right now. So as far as symptoms, I don't really feel like I have any new symptoms. I do feel like the nausea is letting up. I'm afraid to even say that out loud, but the tiredness, you guys, it does not help that I have 2 toddlers. I'm trying so hard to keep up with them and like give them my full energy and attention still. And so one major thing that I completely forgot about, when we were leaving the appointment, we got to the elevators and Bradley was like, did you ask them about the heartbeat? Like, did you get to hear the heartbeat? Because he had left the room with Jackson. And I was like, oh my gosh, we have not heard the heartbeat. Like, I'm 10 weeks pregnant and we've never heard the heartbeat. I was super bummed that I forgot to ask about that. Is that normal? Like, I don't know. I felt like they probably should have let us hear the heartbeat or mention something about that. So maybe my next appointment, which is when I'm about 14 weeks, But that's like crazy to go 14 weeks and not hear the heartbeat, right? Make sure you guys let me know in the comments below if you think it's a boy or a girl. I cannot wait to find out and share it with you guys. Well, I think that's pretty much it for this week's update. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!